Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and back to another standard matchup. We're going to be revisiting a deck today, one that actually got kind of a crucial piece. It's not the most interesting piece in the world that makes this deck suddenly amazingly playable, but I do think that it suddenly makes it playable, and that's going to be Cleric Pyre Tribal here, and the addition from Midnight Hunt is Lunarch Veteran, a 1-mana 1/1 human cleric, and it says whenever another creature you control enters the battlefield, gain 1 life. That in itself is actually kind of useful, because Clerics is obviously a life gain deck. The big payoffs are Righteous Valkyrie that says if you have 27 life, all of your creatures get +2/+2, and whenever another Angel or Cleric enters the battlefield, you gain life equal to its toughness. We've got that as a payoff. We've got Cleric of Lifespond, which is another creature as enter gain life effect, and this one gets a +1/+1 counter if you've gained life for the first time in a turn. So it's kind of like a black-white Pridemates list of old. And yeah, the fact that Lunarch Veteran is a 1-drop is actually the big draw to return to this deck. It's less so the effect that it has, and more the fact that it is a 1-drop that is playable and synergizes with the deck. It does also have Disturb 2, which means we can cast it for 2 mana from our graveyard to make a Luminous Phantom, which is a 1/1 flying spirit cleric. The fact that it's cleric on the other side is also really nice. It says whenever a creature you control leaves the battlefield, you gain 1 life. That's actually kind of relevant with the strategy of our deck, because the namesake build around of the list is Pyre of Heroes, a 2-mana artifact. It's kind of like Birthing Pod. You pay 2 and tap it to sack a creature, and then you search your library for a creature card that shares a creature type with the sacrificed creature, and it has mana value equal to 1 plus that creature's mana value. Put that card onto the battlefield, and then shuffle, and you can only do this at sorcery speed. So with Pyre of Heroes, it basically gives us a tutor for all the best cards in our deck. We can sack our 1-drop to go get our 2-drops, our 2-drops to go get our 3-drops, and our 3-drops to go get our 4-drops. And the 4-drop is the important one here, Aura Skyclave Hierophant. 4-mana 3/3 with lifelink. Whenever Aura or another cleric you control dies, return a cleric card with lesser mana value to your graveyard, from your graveyard to the battlefield. And this is the reason why having a 1-drop cleric is so good. A 1-drop playable cleric, should emphasize. I'm sure there's already 1-drop clerics, but they're not playable. So we have a lot of 2-drops in our deck, and last time we played clerics, we had an overabundance of 2-drops in our deck. Kind of struggled a little bit with the curve just being a big stick, really. But now, when we lose our Lunarch Aspirants and our Cleric of Lifesponds, we have a target in Lunarch Veteran, and it's a target that's actually pretty good. If it's in a graveyard, we can still disturb it, so we can sack this to go get our 2-drops, knowing that we can disturb our 1-drop to make it bigger later down the line. But it just really smooths out the aura hits and draws and things like that, which is super useful. And aura off of any of our 3-drops is obviously tutorable there as well, which is why we only have 3 of. Even though it's an important card, you don't really want to get flooded out on this one too much. The legend ruling of aura is not too bad though, because when aura enters and legend rules itself, you get 2 triggers, and yeah, both of those 2 triggers are on 4-mana mana value creatures, so you get a 3 or less twice over. So you can sack your Spellbinders to get auras to then, get back 2 3-drops if you want to do that. It's kind of thinning. It stops you from drawing the redundant auras and things like that. Can be a little bit risky if your opponent does kill your aura, because we don't have a good way of getting it back. We could have some Agadeem's Awakenings in the land base, I suppose, but I haven't really needed it all that much, to be honest. Yeah, this deck basically speaks for itself. It gains a lot of life, gains a lot of counters, and kills, hopefully, nice and quickly. Let's talk about kind of like the toolbox of the deck. As we mentioned, with Pyro Heroes, we do get to pick the cards that we want, which means we get a nice option to play 1-ofs in our deck that are quite useful. In the case of Demon's Disciple, enters the battlefield, each player sacrifices a creature or a planeswalker, so we get to keep that death trigger off of Aura, which is nice, but it's also a removal spell if our opponent has a single creature in play. It's kind of really not a very specific answer to a lot of things, but it's available to us if we need it anyway. And then we've got Dawnbringer Cleric as well. 2 mana 1/3. When it enters, you can choose either to gain 2 life, to destroy an enchantment, or exile a card from a graveyard. I think the bottom 2 are the most relevant, but Dawnbringer Cleric being a 2 mana 1/3 that gains you life is also really good against any aggro decks. It should block quite a lot of the early game aggro in the format, and allow us to take a little bit of extra damage because of the Cure Wounds option there as well. So that one's quite nice. And the enchantments, there's lots of classes in this format, so you're not going to be hard pressed to find one of those. And the Graveyard Exile, this is a Blood on the Snow format, so you can hit your opponent's Planeswalkers. So lots of options. We do have Cleric class in our deck. This is... I'm trying to think what the equivalent of this card really is. I don't think it really particularly has one. This is a little bit of reanimation though. 1 mana, Cleric class. If you would gain life, you gain that much life plus 1 instead. So our Lunarch veterans now gain 2 whenever creatures enter. So it's kind of nice in that fashion. You can pay 4 to level it up. It says whenever we gain life, we put a counter on each creature, on target creature we control, sorry. So you basically make a build your own Ajani's Pridemate. And then the 5 mana, when it becomes level 3, return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield and gain life equal to its toughness. So this is our way in the late game to get back our Aura Skyclave Hierophants, for example. And then once they're back, then we've got the Pyre to start, you know, cycling back through our deck again. So that's quite useful. But yeah, that's essentially the deck. If you do enjoy the video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. We'll be back later on in the coming days and weeks with some Historic Brawl for those who've been waiting for that. Don't you worry, it's on the way, but I'm just still on a little bit of a standard high right now, and I'm really just riding that as far as it'll go, really. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy though, and I'll see you in the games. This video is brought to you by the generous support of our wonderful patrons and channel members that you see here. If you'd like to support the channel and get access to cool content like sneak peeks, bonus videos, polls on future content, or access to a personal deck critique from myself every month, then hit the join button down below, or check out the Patreon link in the description. With all that said, let's get into the gameplay. Alrighty then, we're in on the play. I'd say this hand's pretty good. We're gonna keep it. We got good mana, we got a curve, it's a bit of a blunt force curve, but, you know. Cleric of Life's Bond into Righteous Valkyrie, into Aspirant maybe. Paladin class, so we're up against the mono white list. Okay, so removal wise we have to concern ourselves, I guess, with Portable Hull. But I think that still means we go with the Cleric of Life's Bond. I don't think that really changes anything. Foretell's a card. What card does mono white foretell? I don't know. I don't remember. Maybe like a Starheim Unleashed or something silly like that. I'm sure we'll find out soon enough. We're going to go with Righteous Valkyrie, gain a little bit of life, gain a counter, swing for 3. Land. I'm always really bad with like the white foretell cards, like this Doomscar, but why would mono white run that? He says, about to get Doomscarred right here, right now. It would be very brutal, I will admit. Alright, they're literally just going to Paladin class and pass. So I could get on the offensive with Luminarch Aspirant, or I could Vanishing Verse the Paladin class. I'm in no rush to do the Paladin class thing, I don't believe. So let's get this tap Snarl in. Let's play into that Doomscar. And let's pump up the Valkyrie, I guess. Down to 10. It must be Starheim Unleashed, surely. They'll just X1 it and have a 4/4. It was a Doomscar! What on earth? I knew it! I knew it. I didn't want to believe it, but I knew it. Dawnbringer Cleric at least gets rid of the Paladin class, so Adding to the board while removing from theirs is good tempo. Allows me to hold up and Vanishing Verse. Mono white. Maybe it's not mono white aggro then, because they're literally doing nothing. Redain. Can be Vanishing Versed. I guess it's mono white control. Can't say I've ever seen a mono white control list. Today's the day. Maybe it's mono Orzhov control and they're just kind of like extremely color screwed. But they're running Paladin class, so I have a hard time believing that. Enduring Angel. You have hexproof. If your life total will be reduced to 0. Oh yeah, this thing does a thing. Yep. You know what it does? It's Vanishing Versed. Powerful card right there. Ooh, Righteous Valkyrie. It's very good. Puts us up to 27. Allows us to swing for lethal. What a weird game. What a weird game. I've never seen Paladin class and Doomscar in the same deck before. I mean, I kind of called it on the Fattel. I was like, it's got to either be Starheim or Doomscar, because those are the only two I know. They might even be the only two. I can't even remember what any of the others. I think there's like a 3/6 Vigilance, 6 mana cat thing that's a Fattel card. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm thinking of a different mechanic, but yeah, very strange. Either way, we won, so on to the next one. We go first. We have a curve. I think it's a keepable curve. Not too happy to see my Demon's Disciple here. It's almost always a Pyre of Heroes target. But I guess on curve it could be okay anyway. So we can play the Cleric here, then we can Disciple their 2-drop if we don't like the look of it. If it's the 2 mana 3/3 Wolf. It's actually a Gruul deck. And Ranger class. Okay. So it's Gruul Wolves. Do I want to get rid of this token? It might be the best time to do it. Yeah. I think we'll do that. We'll get rid of the Demon's Disciple. Get rid of their Wolf. I want to keep the board relatively clear. I know that they've got Tolvalar or whatever his name is on 3. But Demon's Disciple's not going to help me get rid of that anyway. Reckless Stormseeker. It's a 3/3 with haste. Seen worse. I've seen mud crabs bigger than you. They're not playing Blizzard Brawl or Frostbite. So what about Aspirant Pyre? Or is it just Aura? We have no 1-drops in our graveyard right now, so the Pyre sacking any of my 2-drops isn't going to do anything. If Aura dies, though, I get Demon's Disciple. So that could have some value. I don't really mind taking a 3 from our opponent here. So I'm going to swing for 4. They don't gain life, I do, so I'm much more capable of taking a beating from our opponent. Chariot. Not ideal. Best card in the format. Yeah, sure. And suddenly my Demon's Disciple is very bad. So what about Luminarch Pyre? I think that's okay. Pump the Cleric. Play the Pyre. Let's pump up the aura, make it harder to kill. So, like, if aura dies, then I get a Demon's Disciple, but I think I want to keep aura around for Pyre of Heroes. Hope I get a land play like Righteous Valkyrie into Pyre, Aspirant, Righteous Valkyrie. Something like that. I think I'll just pass. If they want to trade Chariot with Cleric, I'm probably okay with that. Although, actually, would it? Because they're doing this. This is only a power buff, right? Yeah. So it still equally trades with the Cleric. Kessig Naturalist. And haste it up. Mr. Land. So we're going to go Aspirant. We're going to go into our combat to double pump the aura, I think, because I'm pretty sure any way that aura dies is damage based. So we want him as large as possible. Like so. And I think we're still going to pass, and then we're going to sack Aspirant to go get... I was going to say Righteous Valkyrie, but maybe Spellbinder to look into their hands to maybe reduce the odds of aura dying here might be an ideal. Then we know what we've got to worry about in terms of blocking with aura. I kind of like that idea. Yeah. Let's do that. Shatterskull is their removal, and then they've also got additional pump, some card draw. Yeah, I mean, I'll just take the Shatterskull. I think in the long term, if I get a supersized aura, nothing that they play is really going to matter. So I just need to get to supersized aura territory, and that means that I can't let them have the X6 anytime soon. There's Arlen, makes some wolves. Makes a 3/2. Another Pyre. So we are going to go to combat, pump the aura. Swing for 3 in the air, because they have no reach. Killing Arlen. I was going to Pyre, but I realize now that... Actually, no, I can stop daytime and nightbound things happening. So I'm going to go Spellbinder here. Get my Aspirant back. Gain some life. Pump the Cleric. And then we get to go grab an Aura, keeping our bigger aura, and then both triggers go on the stack, which means I can get access to Elite Spellbinder here and Demon's Disciple. And then we're going to sack a Luminarch Aspirant, because we're going to sack the Demon's Disciple to do the exact loop all over again. Let's just get rid of... I was going to say Chariot, but how much do I care about a go wide at this stage? I kind of feel like them just running 6 power into our board is also fine. Really, honestly, I don't care about many of these. I guess I'll just go after the Chariot, because it's, you know, that broken bannable card in Standard that is ruining the format. It's clearly overpowered. Okay, Liberator can get rid of a Pyre, but good job for us, we drew too many already. So they can do us a favour by killing their own creature. Love to see it. Hasty Pack Leader. And passes. So there's our 2 mana play to keep them off of Nightbound. So we're going to go Cleric of Life's Bond. And I think we're going to start powering up the Spellbinder to close the game out now. Shouldn't have to concern myself with Aura getting killed, I don't think, at this stage. Oh, we should also Demon's Disciple to get the other Aspirant out of our graveyard. So that we can increase the size of our clock. I don't know if it adds any turns, honestly. I haven't done the math, but, you know, an extra counter every single turn seems appropriate. It's also more life gain for us, so a swing out from our opponent's less likely to kill us. Let's get the Demon's Disciple. Yes, just sack the Demon's Disciple. Goodbye, opponent. So it's 5 damage, then 7 damage, then 9 damage. Should be more than enough. I don't know how many reach creatures they've got in the deck. They might have the Jaspera Sentinel 1-drop, which could keep them alive, but it wouldn't help them block. We can always, if we feel uncomfortable with our opponent having a swing out to kill us, just keep pumping on the Aura. As long as they don't have a way of sacking the creature it blocks, then we kind of win the game, but that's kind of a thing that we have to concern ourselves with, is that our opponent could sack the token somehow, either by like burning it with an instant speed burn spell or something like that, which would mean everything going around us would deal the damage, but Aura wouldn't gain the life, so that could do something. But we're also on 28 life, so not really a concern there either. So yeah, Red-Green Wolves taken down. On to the next one. Okay, we're in. And we're on the draw. I think this is a keepable hand. We have the annoying one of Demon's Disciple in our hand again. Really wish that wouldn't keep happening, but here we are. Den of the Bugbear and Javelineer. Okay, so an aggro deck. Just wondering whether or not we go with the Cleric class first or the Veteran. And whether or not it matters. I think we'll go with the Veteran. It doesn't necessarily matter if it dies because we have the Disturb side of things. But I'm not going to block the Javelineer just to enable that. Not when I have a perfectly good Vanishing Verse here. I probably want to hit their Goblin Bandit Lord, is that what it's called? The 3-mana Lord that's in Standard right now. Fireblade Charger. Could also consider Vanishing Versing that. No blocks. We are honestly in kind of an awkward position against this matchup because we don't have the most aggressive start. If we had any of our like big Hobgoblin Bandit Lord, that's the name of it, and it's dead. If we had any of our like big power and toughness early creatures, like our Cleric of Lifespawn, for example, we might be in a better position. Dawnbringer Cleric, honestly that's a good one. It's got gain life written on it. So I could do Cleric class, Dawnbringer Cleric, gain quite a fair bit of life. Yeah, gain life. I'm back at 21. I'm not blocking with my Veteran, but the Cleric is now a pretty good blocker. Fireblade Charger has to live forever, unfortunately, because I like my Lunarch Veteran just where it is. Yeah. That complicates things. Not enough for me to block. Luminarch Aspirant. So this is whenever you gain life, put a counter on a creature you control. I could just go with Aura, but I don't have a good block with Aura anyway. So perhaps Luminarch Aspirant here. Gain 2 and then pump this to a 2/4 is more ideal. Get that doing its thing. I'd like it so that when Aura comes down, it can become a 4/4 immediately on combat. So I think that will hold quite a fair bit of value. They are a snow-covered mountain deck, which means they're running Frostbite. So 3 damage is the, I think, the premium for their removal. Hulking Bugbear. And then they can Bandit Lord to kill the Aspirant, sure. And then we're taking 6. So I could block the Charger and then the Cleric dies. Or I can wait. Yeah, I'll wait. Another Cleric class. Let's just go with an Aura. Gain 2. Pass. Now if Aura dies, I get Luminarch Aspirant back and gain 2. And I kind of don't mind Dawnbringer Cleric dying here now, because then Demon's Disciple reanimates it and gains me some life there as well. So we're kind of getting there. But Frostbite would be less than ideal. Battlecry Goblins also extremely bad. Yeah. Opponent's just probably a bit too fast for us here. Can't really stabilize on this board. What about a super mega block then? Just block here. Block here. Just block here. Go to 6, up to 10. 3 damage. Feels like it's probably going to hit my face, but if they hit the Dawnbringer Cleric, that also makes a fair bit of sense as well. Aura left the battlefield. Alright, so Aura brings back Luminarch Aspirant, I think. Was that correct? It's hard to tell because of the way that the stacks go. I really wanted the Lunarch Veteran up, and I think I could have made that happen because the Dawnbringer Cleric... Yeah, I think I picked the triggers wrong. Super annoying, of course. Cleric class... Snarl Veteran. I mean, this is the best we can do, so... Pump to kill the Battlecry Goblin. And then we gain a fair bit off of the death trigger. We've got Den of the Bugbear. I just don't think we can win. Had we actually had a Dawnbringer Cleric in play, which I think is actually a thing that could have happened, maybe there's a chance for this. But yeah, I think we're just a bit too far behind at this stage, and just drawing lands as well is never a good thing. So this is Demon's Disciple, kill a Goblin. Gain 3 up to 10. forced block somewhere that kills me. Yeah. And maybe it's keep Demon's Disciple here so I could block the Bugbear or kill the Battlecry Goblin. So I think this... oh no, this doesn't trigger off itself dying. Is it still correct to do that though? Block here, they just mega pump. I'm dead, yeah. I'm just dead. Too many useless creatures on their end for Demon's Disciple to be good. It really is just a tutor target and you don't ever want to draw it. Javelineer, activate Battlecry Goblin, or not. Oh, no, there you go. And then swing out. Just couldn't get a grip on this game. Just out aggroed. This is certainly one of those matchups where I think if we drew the right cards, we absolutely ruffle stomp our opponent. But we didn't. So, on to the next one. Alright, we go first. We've got a curve. I like it. Demon's Disciple once again in our opening hand. One of Fun of has been in, I think, all but maybe one of our opening hands today. Which is interesting. I've actually got a matchup I won't be showing you guys where I got completely mana screwed that also had Demon's Disciple in it. So that's a thing. Cleric Lifespan though, to lead the way. Hopefully no portable holes here. Sun Gold Sentinel. Okay. And opponent passes. So let's go with, I think Righteous Valkyrie's totally fine. Gains us a bit of life. Sets up that future superpower that doesn't get portable hold. And then these guys are going to gain us a little bit of life as well. Skyclave Apparition, rude. Nice draw. And no attacks. Good, 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 good. Yeah, I mean, Demon's Disciple's never going to be better than it is right now, so we're just going to Turbo Slam it. And Turbo Sack it, I believe, because the life gain here is absolutely doing a number on our opponent. Yeah, pass the turn. So got the Faceless Haven. I am absolutely deathly terrified of a portable hole here because it's literally going to derail our entire game plan. As is drawing too many lands, but we already knew that. Let's just stick this on white, I suppose. White's our primary colour, really. Guess we're almost at Cave of the Frost Dragon territory. They need a 1 or a 4 or something like that to activate the Sun Gold Sentinel, which will mean it's unblockable, I believe. Can't be blocked by creatures of a colour. So yeah, they just name white. So getting in with the Spellbinder makes sense. Can I draw a good card? Been mana screwed. Am I going to get mana flooded? Pyre of Heroes, that is a good draw. Okay, back in business. Might as well just play the land out, I think. It's unknown information, sure, but it's not doing us that many favours. Let's go with a Veteran here. Grabbing, I think, maybe just another Cleric of Life's Bond. Or it could be Luminarch Aspirant. So that I can reanimate the Veteran and then start pumping it. And then it eventually gets into a point where it can start blocking Redains and Spellbinders. Yeah, maybe sure. Alright. You got yourself a deal. Gain some life. Pump the Dorks. And I think we can afford to start putting the pressure on our opponent. I want to get them to the point where they're forced to block the Cleric. And then Cleric basically becomes a removal spell on the attack step. We don't currently have a good reason to have a lot of life, except for the ability to take a lot of damage. That is the worst draw that we could have seen from our opponent. That is brutal. I need a Vanishing Verse, and I need it now. Yep, taking all of this. Another veteran. So, gain a bit of life. I think I have to turn my Aspirant into a Spellbinder. Or I guess I could make it into a Righteous Valkyrie. I wouldn't have that 27 right now, but... let's get our counter first. Yeah, no attacks. Aspirant becomes Righteous Valkyrie, gains us a bit of life. $26, 1 point short of basically undoing the Intrepid Adversary's advantage. Valkmira, okay, that's going to complicate the math. And I hate complicated math. Goodbye, Aspirant. Does this get that on attack as well? It does. Oh god. So that upsets Aura a little bit. Could block Spellbinder. I think that's correct to do. Oh no, 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 no. It's not correct to do. Valkmira exists. That is honestly kind of extremely good. Gain lots of life. We're at 24. Higher Cleric. Get third Righteous Valkyrie. Lots of life, lots of power. Now we're talking. Let's get in with a 9/9. Yeah, let's get in with everyone. We want to really put the power on our opponent. So these are hitting. It's not technically hitting for 6 because it's 1 damage reduction on each permanent. So a double block means they're hitting for 5. So yeah, I don't know if they're actually good attacks, because they just double block with Sun Gold Sentinel, trade 1/5/4 for a 7/7. I think just the 9's fine. We can swing over the top for the rest later. Put our opponent on 6. Keep them back as well from attacking us with a high-powered level board. The power of Righteous Valkyrie right here. Good lord. Really thought once that adversary came down we were just done for, but yeah. Pyre of Heroes, having the ability to grab your best card in your deck at all times is it's kind of a powerful effect, and somehow we've gone from nearly dead to 47 life. It's it's a silly thing, but yeah, we could have easily been derailed if our opponent drew like a portable hull here. If they'd have got rid of like the Cleric of Life's Bond early on, then I'm sure that their aggression would have been enough to probably put me dead on board, and certainly far enough away from Righteous Valkyries getting the pump effect here. But yeah, pretty good, and on to the next one. Alright, we go first. This hand is great. We're going to keep it. Turn 1 Veteran, turn 2 Cleric of Life's Bond or Enchantment Removal. I doubt we'll want the Enchantment Removal, but it's there. It's also nice aggression, defense. But so is the rest of our game plan here, so pretty good. Den of the Bugbear. Alright, so it's this matchup again. It was bad for us last time. Is this hand much better? I would say it certainly is. We've got life gain enablers, and we got some big power and toughness blockers. I'm not going to block the Javelineer, though, because they could have Frostbite, so this early on it's not worth doing. I think if they had Frostbite, though, they would probably at this stage use it on the Lunark Veteran. Hard to say, though. Could have double Frostbite for Cleric of Life's Bond. Yeah, that's a suspicious block, suspicious attack, which is why we won't block. And Battlecry Goblin. Alright, I think I'm just going to start with Spellbinder. I'm looking for Frostbite. They had it. Alright. So I could just make it more expensive, or I could get rid of their Javelineer. Javelineer does complicate things, honestly. Yeah, I think I'll probably just take that, and we'll just know that Frostbite is there. It usually does a lot. So because we know Frostbite is there, that means Spellbinder's probably dead if I attack with Cleric, but if I hold back Cleric, I can't block with him anyway because they have Frostbite. So I think I will just accept that Spellbinder is dead. Use him as an opportunity to get rid of that Frostbite. And then next turn we got the Cleric plus Vanishing Verse. Just gonna go with Javelineer, interesting. And just gonna pass. Also interesting. Alright, well. Never turn down an opportunity to untap your Snarl. Gonna gain some life. And yeah, get in with the team. I need to get nice and aggressive here. Spellbinder, obviously, dead to Frostbite, so... Gonna swing in with it rather than hold it back to block, because we know it can't. Opponent's on 7, basically dead to a counter-attack if they swing out. And they don't know about the Vanishing Verse. I'm happy to let them double pump on the Battlecry Goblin, though. Doesn't really change the fact that I win the game. That is pretty good. If they go to combat, I'll just get rid of that. So there's the Frostbite. So when do I kill the Bandit Lord? Because this makes a tapped and attacking Goblin. I think I let them get the buff if they want it. Otherwise, I'm going to hit the Bandit Lord. If they swung out there and left the Bandit Lord back, I Vanishing Verse it on the end step, and then our opponent cries. Alright, so get in for 5. Yep. We're now in chump block territory from here on out. So anything that deals 2 damage must be blocked. We've got Den of the Bugbear. We're at 25, so again, we can afford to take any of their biggest hits. Pair of Goblins. And get some chump blockers. Oh, proper swinging out. Interesting. Alright, this is 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Dead. They could have lived if they decided to not do what they did there. They basically probably should have done that. If they knew me anyway, then they'd know that there was a good chance I was just going to draw lands for the next 15 turns. So, you know, that would win them the game if that happened. So they had outs. They had outs, and they're not unreasonable outs, which is, I get unlucky. But, yeah. Managed to redeem ourselves versus the Goblins matchup. I did think that this one was a winnable game. And I guess this less than ideal draw, but still pretty good one, kind of proved that point. So, pretty sweet. That's going to do it for today, though, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed, and if you have, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. We'll be back for some Historic Brawl in no time, don't y'all worry. We are going to be playing a fair bit of that in the coming days and weeks. But yeah, I'm still just kind of on a standard trip right now, if you haven't already noticed. But yeah, we'll be back on the variety train in no time, so don't worry about that. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and if you have, take care, and enjoy the rest of your day.